Hi everyone, it is your girl Miss Sophia the Diva, and I am back here again, one more again, for Bravo Sunday. For this particular video, we will be discussing Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 1, Episode 3, Meme Your Business. As in, mind your business. I'm a meme, and I didn't like being made fun of as a meme by your fan page. Anywho, we're going to get into that. But this episode, there's not really too much in depth that I really wanted to cover, but we do conclude with Miss Karen Huger's press conference with no press. We leave poor Matt looking like he needed to drink a whole bottle of Gatorade, honey. He was so flushed and red. I said, poor thing, them black women had you shook. He was not ready for that. What I did find disappointing is that I thought Giselle had a change of heart. Soror, Ethel didn't teach us that. You didn't have to take that t-shirt off and show that to Karen Huger, okay? That just wasn't necessary. You know, hashtag tax reform, hex tags, free Uncle Ben. We all know he looked like Uncle Ben. What's that little old black man that used to be on everything? Is he even still alive? I have to Google and figure out who he is. But either way, I just thought it was highly inappropriate. And like I said, I ride for my sorors, but I'll tell you when you're wrong. And Giselle, you were just wrong. It just wasn't right. You keep saying that you and Karen had history or whatever, so I guess it wasn't a very good history for you to be the type of friend that would do that. She went over the events with her assistant or her hairstylist or whomever, and Monique Samuels felt it was a cheap shirt that looked like something she had gotten down from Walmart. But I was like, wouldn't it be appropriate for the party that you're holding for Chris? I mean, it is a white t-shirt. Okay, y'all. 2 episodes in and I'm already tired of Candace. Candace talking about, oh my God, you know, I come from privilege and my white fiance comes from nothing. I was like, he's got white privilege, honey. He may have been poor and you may have helped push him to greatness to own a restaurant or whatever, but he would have been just fine out here in the world without you and your privileges, okay? I'm just saying, and I'm tired of it. It's exhausting. I don't want to hear about, oh my God, unsaid wealthy. Then we come to find out that she claimed last week that her family was like the Huxtables, but how are you like the Huxtables when your parents were divorced and your mama was the primary caregiver and she was the wonderful person who got you involved in pageants. At one point, they do meet up at, I'm not sure whose house they were. Were they at Ashley's or Monique's or somebody's? But either way, they end up smoking cigars and shooting the shit, talking to different businesses about the different housewives so that Candace can learn more about who to kind of steer clear of and who she can be cool with. I just find it really interesting about how Monique is trying to be messy about this whole process. And also even Ashley kind of threw some shade toward Candace and my girl. She part of some international USA. I ain't never heard of it. It's like, what? One of the things I did appreciate about Monique Samuels this particular episode is that I do feel as though she gave great advice to Ashley. As you know, Ashley is having marital troubles, and part of the reason why she's having marital troubles is not only because her husband be down there to the grinder, but also because her mother has been with some man for 15 years that is abusive and doesn't treat her right. And part of the stipulation for her and her husband to be able to support Ashley's mother is that she would leave this man alone. Unfortunately, it does not appear as though Ashley's mother has left this man alone. And so now what it's come down to is Michael is saying, it's either me or your mama, what you gonna do? So Monique posed the question, what's most important to you? And I was thinking to myself, is it the money or your mother? Because that's what it's gonna come down to. At the end of the day, I think that Ashley, of course, feels some allegiance towards her mother, but she'll probably end up choosing the money at the end of the day. But I thought that was very wise of Monique to say that because, I mean, Ashley, what are you going to do? And your mama obviously don't want to leave this man. And maybe, you know, if you cut her off, and I think Michael, that's a great approach. Sometimes you have to leave people where they are so that they can do what they need to do to get their own selves together. Monique also brings up the fact that she doesn't know what Robin's issue is with her. And initially, my first thought is the fact that if you remember, it was like Robin and Giselle versus Monique and Ashley at one point. So I always felt like maybe Robin felt some type of way about Monique for being friends with Ashley, who, of course, we know was stirring the pot about her relationship with Juan. Then it comes out that at Sharice's barbecue or somebody's barbecue that they were all at, that Robin had something to say to Monique, but she never fully expressed what her issue was with Monique, and Monique was trying to clear the air with her. This season, again, I feel as though Robin is trying to be the mean girl, the bad girl, like Cynthia was in Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's going to find it's backfire. As a matter of fact, she may find that she might not even be on Potomac next year. Robin and Juan have a scene together, and that's when we learn a whole lot more. In the 2 seasons that we've been sitting here, all this time, we've been thinking something different about Robin. But they're having a discussion about the fact that they brought all this junk over from the garage at the old house. And I'm thinking, well, maybe y'all should just have a garage sale and sell some of that stuff off. It's not like y'all don't need the money. We also learned that Robin is the cause for them losing their nest egg. Juan, once again, had given her advice and told her not to invest the money with this alleged friend who ultimately made off with the money, okay? Basically scammed y'all out of it in some sort of Ponzi scheme, and he told you not to do it. And so she was like, I'm sorry, I took full responsibility for this, so I'm starting my own business. So now Robin will be flipping houses. But I also know that Robin is also really good with PR and communication, so I do hope that she's still going to spread her wings and do that as well. But the first thing we must always do is, of course, take responsibility. But in my head, I was like, is that why Juan divorced you? Because I would have divorced your dumb ass too if you had taken my money and invested it and then let somebody just, get away with taking our money. You got foxed. You got outfoxed out of your funds. And what about your children? Were you thinking about your children? But, hard head make a soft behind is what my mom and my Betty always told me. But I will agree with Robin that being broke is not a good feeling and it's not fun. Like I told you about when I first came to LA, my first 2 years I was struggling, but you would never know it because, honey, I always made sure my hair was done and I was in a circle where I could go and attend things, and I always had a great fashion sense, so I knew how to work my wardrobe if I needed to. But being broke, again, I'm in this other cycle right now. I'm temporarily financially challenged. I don't like it. I don't ever want to put myself in that position again, so I'm doing things in my downtime to make sure that that doesn't happen again, because it's not a good feeling to not have a safety net. And I did have a lovely nest egg saved up, but like I tried to explain to someone in particular that's supposed to be close to me, that it was a rainy day fund. The rain came and I had to use it, so now I got to get back on my feet and build it back up again. But people that ain't never really understood finances, they won't get it anyway, and they ain't gonna listen, so whatever. Candace is out here wedding shopping, and that's when we meet Mama Candace. Child. She said her mom is a psychologist. She built a great and lucrative practice, and her mother has always been the boss lady. As a matter of fact, her mama said, I'm the CEO. I said, oh, do we have a Mama Joyce on our hands? So they're wedding shopping, and Candace is trying to pick out dresses and stuff, and her mom is like, no, you don't want that. I don't want that. Why are you crying? That's a dress you could have gotten down to Walmart. That was actually a cute dress, and no, you're not going to find it at Walmart. Although Walmart does sell engagement rings. People find that bizarre, but I'm like, poor people need love too. And Kmart used to sell engagement rings back in the day too. So I don't know. Some people just been bougie their whole lives, or new to money and don't know what it's like to be average or common. But I will say this, Candace, despite how annoying your mother is, just the fact that knowing that your mother financially supported you and helped push you to greatness, it's nice to have a mom that wants to be financially and emotionally supportive for you. So just be grateful for that, because not all of us got that. Monique has planned a 40th birthday party for her husband, Chris Samuels, where everyone is invited to dress like how Chris likes to dress. He likes to keep it simple in t-shirts and jeans, a white t-shirt preferably. But I noticed at this party, he had on a purple Lacoste shirt. And she had on a cute little white dress, but she said that was fine, I guess. But she was cute, though. I will give her that. She annoys the hell out of me. But she wasn't annoying this episode. She was actually very wise on words of wisdom. Also, there was discussion of whether Chris's mother would be invited. As you know, Chris's mother referred to Monique as a heifer and told her she needed to get a job. Chris ain't feeling it, and he really hasn't talked to his mother since then. Chris, I completely understand. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from a toxic parent. It just happens, okay? You know, we only get one set of parents, but sometimes, you know, you got to back that thing up and be like, you know what, just out of respect, let me separate myself from you. So, Chris, I understand. He did, during the party, acknowledge his father for being in attendance, and he wasn't disrespectful to his mother at all. He just said that, you know, she couldn't be there. We all know why. This is also the episode where we get to see a view of Charissa. Charissa came and got a... Charissa, still fashion on struggle. All that money and still no sense of fashion. And you can't... Obviously, you don't want to pay anybody to help you. Why did you have them big-ass wedges that you could barely walk in and your heel was hanging over the edge? Your heel was like, help me, help me. I was like... Where the fuck is she going in these heels? Tacky. Anyway, the Grand Dame and Uncle Ben make a public appearance. Good for you all getting out and just showing that you don't give a damn about being in debt, okay? And besides, it's really no one's business. And quite frankly, if it is business tax and you're trying to clear that stuff through the IRS, just shut the hell up. That's Uncle Ben's problem, not yours, unless you're sitting on the board or the trustees or something. What is going on, really caring with y'all? Then at this party, this is when we learn about why Robin Dixon is actually truly angry with Monique Samuels about a meme on a fan page. Robin seems to think that Monique is paying someone to make these memes about her, and Monique is like, what makes you think I have time to do that? But, Monique, you did like that meme. She said, oh, what? I thought it was funny. Like, so therefore you are in agreement with this meme if you think that it's funny. Robin wasn't feeling it, so she's in her feelings. So she walks away from the situation. Next thing you know, she also gets into conflict with Ashley. Ashley basically is saying, I want you to win. I want you to do better. But in my mind, I'm like, Ashley, why are you so concerned about what Robin's happiness is when you probably are miserable too? Your husband had his whole private parts out there on Grindr. One of my followers on Twitter seems to think that let's just be real. Call a thing a thing. Michael's gay. He probably is. Although he did say he wanted to live and be with her for the next 40 years. And she was like, oh, you be 98. I bet she like, he died sooner than that so I can get my millions. That's mean, but I mean, I really don't see it for them, but I do think that Ashley is trying to deflect from her own misery. Now, what I was unclear about is that she was saying that one, she was like, look, I had a man. Robin was like, I had a man that had a dream, and he told me after, when he came back that he was going to, get his degree so he could get a coaching position. And then Ashley was like, so wasn't he like cheating on you overseas with some woman? And then when it didn't work out, that's when he decided to come back home to you and try to fulfill his dream. I was like, ooh. But either way, Ashley, you still wrong. Then Candace all upset because her man decided to jump off the balcony and jump into the pool, do a flip into the pool. I'm like, I was like, it's not just white people that do that. Anybody could do that if they get drunk enough. She was like, why is he doing typical white boy stuff? I'm like, because you were the white man. Like, what the fuck you expect? Robin and Monique get into it again, and finally Robin just says it's a wrap and leaves. Now, I like how Chris always tries to diffuse the situations. I think he knows it's easy for his wife to get into it with people. But either way, that's all I've got. I didn't get to see the previews for next week, but that's all I've got. Comment down below. Let me know if I missed anything. There really wasn't a lot for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. As you know, once again, I will continue to say this, that YouTube has decided that the little people who have less than 1,000 followers or subscribers or less than 4,000 views in a year, they don't deserve to have the ability to monetize their channel. It's just not cost effective, I guess, is what they're saying. I don't get it because I'm like, sponsors are the ones paying for this stuff, so I don't, advertisers. I don't get it. It's some bullshit that YouTube came up with, but whatever. Help a diva out. I'm at 2:44 at the taping of this video. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you're just sitting here looking. Don't just sit there on the peripheral. Get involved. But thank you guys for joining. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva. You've been all that. And Miss Pumpkin, where's Mommy's purse? Where's my purse? We got to get out of here.